Hello, everyone. It is me, Just B. Audrey Lane. Thank you guys so much. I always do this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for the notifications of when I am on. Um, so, the journal today for me is I'm going to stay consistent. I have to get better in areas. So, maybe it's going to be you have to get better. And one thing I know with not just myself, with all of us, there's always room for improvement. We can do it. I I I heard people always say it that you're at your breakthrough when things start getting really rough for you. And I can tell you if that is true, and I've seen it with other people, so I'm going to say it for mine too. My breakthrough is here. It is here. Because when I tell you I have some rough days, I always know now I have to go in the gratitude of being thankful for them. I do learn a lot in them. But let me tell you, it's so amazing that I know God is with me in all of it. So I was doing my readings and Joshua stuck out to me this morning, 24:15. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. And I don't know, and I still can't put it all together other than, you know, my aunt has that placard in front of her house. My grandmom had that placard in front of her house. You know, I'm going to get that placard for my house. And it's so amazing that, man, when I was out there living the world, trust me, guys, when we're out there and we're living that world life, things just seem like they come easy. But I had to realize just as they come easy, they go easy. They go easy. Was it worth it? Was it worth you getting it the way that you got it? Because what did you learn in the process of getting it? And what to utilize it in for? So I am learning that all of this is worth the wait. All of this is truly worth the wait because, come on now, like, it's more than just me that it affects. Within my household, it'll affect my children. My children is going to reap along with me. And how about this? I have to make sure I do my part so they know who to give the glory to. It ain't mom. It ain't mom. Mom didn't do it by herself. I can tell you that. Mom didn't do it by herself. We, oh my goodness. So the inspiration for everything is truly trust. I, it is so amazing. And I'm going to say amazing a couple times because it amazes me how when you truly give yourself to God, you do go through some stuff, but you grow through some stuff, and the correction is there. So I have where you guys know I read, um, this book every day. It has the dates and everything in there. So yesterday, I was talking about titles, and it's so funny. One thing I don't do is I don't, read before. I don't never read the next day, the day before, or anything like that because it's not that day. It's not meant for you to do that, you know. So yesterday, I was talking about the titles and everything. And as you can see, I do my highlights afterwards. But I had no clue what today, June 21st, was even going to say. So for me to read it, I was starting to read it. Bridal love, Abraham called for his trusted head servant who was in charge of all he had. Find a wife among them for my son Isaac. So I'm like, okay, that's something. But then I go into reading the rest of it now. Bear with me with this word. In a logical form, this this chapter points to the Father releasing the Holy Spirit to seek a bride for his son Jesus. The Holy Spirit is searching the earth, gathering the church, the his bride, the wife of the Lamb. So that's us. You know, love is not demanded of us; it's offered. So that's something I know when it's like I have to offer myself up to God. I never did that before, and doing that now, it's so lightweight. It's so lightweight in the point where I don't have to overthink anything, and He talks to me throughout the day. You know, I may not always understand what you know His word is, but I do know I can open up my mouth and ask. I do know that, thank God that He has placed people in my life that I can go and ask them, can you break this down to me? And they do it. No judgment, no any of that. And that's how we have to be when people are trying to seek something. And first of all, we got to keep in mind for someone to ask us for help, it takes a lot for them to ask. And I'm speaking for myself. It take a lot. It took a lot for me to ask people for help. So when someone is asking us for help, even if we can't fully help them, how about this? If we can't, point them in the direction of someone who can. And how about this? Don't worry about getting all their business about what they need help for. If they go in to start telling you this and you know you can't help them, stop them and be like, I can't fully help you, but I know someone who can. You don't have to tell me everything for me to help you. And I say that because, you know, if we say the wrong thing, that person won't no longer go off and ask for help because they can have it in their head that this person really just wants to get my info, and that's what the enemy will tell us. So that will be where the enemy wants to come up and say this person can't help you. Oh, they're going to be judging you. Oh, they don't like you. Oh, they can't do this for you. You don't need to ask them for help. You can do it on your own. So we have to be mindful of that. I have to be mindful of it for myself. I have to ask God to show me who is going to be someone that can help me, and then sit on it. Because it don't be like, okay, right here, that's the person right now, right after you ask them. It may go like that, it may not. We have to be mindful of the fact that if we are out here and we are being servants, there's a lot more into being a servant than just listening with our ears. We have to listen with our heart too. So if I know down in my heart that I can't help somebody, I don't need to know details of your life. I can stop you right then and there, and I'm going to encourage you. Look, the reason why I'm stopping you is for this. I want to make sure that someone who can really help you in this need can help you, and I don't want to discourage you from getting help. So let me point you in the right direction. Remember, I said the power is in our tongues. So we have to be mindful of what we say. We have to encourage people because we want to be encouraged ourselves. You know, it's an amazing thing for growth for me. I, I am so amazed of the will of myself. And this isn't a big head moment. This is like, man, all you had to do was like remove yourself and ask God. All you had to do was really give yourself up and let God come in and take over. And this would have happened if I would have knew this earlier. I knew it. I was just rebelling, and I thought I had it. I got this, you know. God got me. Just saying the words. He did have me. I I I I didn't really have him, and I say that because I knew he was there. I knew he could do the change, but yet I was not asking God to fully take over my life and then surrendering to him. I really just wanted to still do it. One thing we don't have to do is not worry about revealing ourselves to God. He knows us. He knows every thought of us before we can even think it. He knows it. I know that I have to fully give myself up. It's times where I have to to do better. I know that. I know that. But even in that time, I ask God to help me and move me this way, or help me to not go about it that way. I don't mind always asking him for help because I know now he's the right person to help me. I want to tell you guys something. So I finally did complete um, the stuff for ministry within my church. And it was what I thought all along. It was that, but then if you read it, come on now, we gotta read. If you read the instructions on everything, just because it says your God given spiritual gift is one thing does not mean necessary that God is going to have you in that area. So yes, remember I told you I can cook, I can clean, I can help, I can serve, I can do this, and that's exactly what it said. But then in the midst of me going over everything, I went back to reading that point because I was having, a difficult time of how do you do this. And it's like God will use you how he sees fit. So yes, it may say that I'm in help, I'm in giving, I'm in what's the other one? Service, I'm in hospitality. Those are all wonderful gifts to have. Don't never shoot yourself down. Is that this all I do? I love it. I love being, like I said, I love customer service. I look at it now like I'm in God's help for soul service. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, I gotta help ushers and souls to Him. So be it. I don't want to. One, I find it really relaxing for me to be who I am. I don't want to fit a circle into a square. And how about this? Or how they say, because no, people will be like, no, you said it wrong, but no, because either way it go. Now, even if the circle is small and it can go into the square, I'm not thinking of myself small. I know what God has in me is dynamic. I'm big. It's a booming thing. So I want to make sure that it's like, okay, God, you say that I am in this, and this is what you have for me. Help me in all of it. And I said it didn't shock me that it's like you're in help. You know how much I asked God to help me. When really I look at it now, like how I say, holding up a mirror. My best friend name is a mirror. It's like God is like, oh yeah, you gonna be in help, all right. You're gonna be in help, all right. I one thing I love that when I come on here, I truly do be encouraging myself. I do hope that, you know, it reaches someone, and that this that God comes out of me and go into your soul, and help you in peace, and help you with your life, help us with our lives. It's not just about the individual. Help us in our lives, and for us to be where you, because you never know who is looking at you. So I'm gonna finish this up and then tell y'all something. So we don't short yourself for thinking you're just in one area. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Cause how about this? Your lane could be where God say you are in this. I have you in service, and the next thing you know is like, boop. Okay, you was in service long enough that now I need you to go off, and now I need you to minister. That scares me. And Lord Jesus, I ask you to speak to me, but I help me not to run. We could be headed exactly where God needs us to be, and we got to remove ourselves. So back on to a little bit of what I was saying. You never know who you affect. So I have known this young lady for a while. She used to work at another supermarket that I would go to, and I ran into her. She was big pregnant, and she done had the baby and everything, and I would go over there and never see her anymore from there. And it's so funny that I was talking to you guys about one of the pastors that I love. I subscribe to her stuff all the time, and those was the alerts that came up that she is on. Anyway, I'm gonna meet her one day. She's gonna be on Just Be Audrey Lane. She's gonna be on it. God, please have it happen in your way, in your time. And Jesus. So the young lady was big pregnant and everything. She had the baby. I seen her at that location one time more, and then didn't see her for a while. A couple of months down the line, um, I seen her at the store closer to me. Ooh, excuse me. Same store, same name of the store, different location. And her and I, we just started busting it up. I always make sure I give her like hugs and like just speak to her, acknowledge who she is. You know, I ask about how she is doing. How's everything with you? You know, and then I'll go into the kids and everyone else. And today she just was like, oh my goodness, like she knew something was different about me, but didn't know anything was different about me. But she's always said to me, you just always had this light and this glow on you. So you never know who is watching and everything, and who is looking at you. To God be the glory. You have to give him his glory, because somebody who now here it is. This young lady sees me all the time, and especially now because I'm always at the store, and I just think she's just one of the sweetest people I know. Like, if I owned a store, she would work there. She would definitely work there. When I tell you, and I've seen her, even today, she had an episode where somebody literally was taking a whole cart of food. She did not lose her cool. I let her do what she had to do because she was in work mode. You don't, even with me speaking to her and everything, I can't stop her from doing what she has to do. She's in work mode. But this girl right here gives customer service really well. There should be awards given out. I need to start that, giving awards out to people who just enjoy being themselves and they just so happen to get paid for it. Like one of the things I do, I work in customer service. I love what I do. I touch and connect with a lot of people, and I just so happen to touch cash. That's all. But the service I do is I meet and I connect people. I connect with people. I pretty much know for my job, I can tell you with just about, let's say, 80, and I want to say it's more than that. 80% of the customers that come in here, I can tell you what their house look like without even stepping foot into it. I can tell you what they need and what they don't need and what they just want to come in there and buy. And a lot come in there just to see me. Thank God. This is why I'm like, I gotta make sure I have my soul together and my heart right, because you just never know who comes in there and God is speaking through you to them. Yeah, I was sitting there saying like, Lord, you speak to me, you speak to me. And it's about the encounters. The encounters we have. Don't never say that, you know, this didn't, this person was like this. I don't know how I bumped into him. There's a reason for everything of why you bump into people and why you meet with people and why you see people and why God has you connect with people. Put yourself out of it and know that it's him. And sometimes, depending on that situation, is how you ask God to transform it. Because y'all all know about yesterday's incident. Don't even really want to go into it. But the gentleman, he just don't know what kind of encounter he end up leaving with. So even when something is trying to be meant for evil, you have to have your heart and your posture strong to know and say, God, now you take over. God, now you come out of me and go on now. I am learning that sometimes when you having arguments and difficulties with people, it's not necessary about you. A lot of the times it can be that person. They may have their own insecurities and struggles and fights that they have not been able to come to term with. But if you embrace them with love and you embrace them with God, that can change them. And yeah, it may not be right away, but you have to keep in your stand with him. You have to let God come out of you. Trust me, there's going to be hard situations, but where's your posture? Where do you stand? Where do you stand firm? And if you don't know how, open up your mouth and ask somebody. I'm trying to get a close relationship with God. I found out just listening to some of my stuff this morning is God come into my life. Ask him that. God come into my life and get ready. Because when you ask him and you sincerely ask him, he's going to come in. He's going to change you. He's going to change your thinking. He's going to change your heart. He's going to change what you thought you wanted to what he needs it to be. When I tell you, I have so much faith in what I'm asking God to do in my life, in my family's life. But I also know if he changes it and he does it how he wants to do it, I know I'm still going to be good. I know that I'm still going to be good. God wants us to pray and talk with him in the boldness and expecting it to come forth and expecting it to be for him, not us. He knows exactly what we need and how we will actually use it. Like I was just saying, you know, you could be getting something and getting something and getting something and it's given to you, but what are you actually doing with it? Easy come, easy go. I this hard work for me, you know, I'm at a job that I love and I enjoy. And I'm asking God where it will be a point where I won't have to punch in a clock for someone else. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. Your girl loves what she do. but I also want to open up my own businesses. But where I am now, I am learning so much for that business. How am I going to ask God to give me this foundation and have me help and serve people if I don't know how to serve? If I don't know how to help? If I don't know how to listen? If I don't know how to adapt to change? We got to learn. We got to be willing to learn. Stop thinking we got it together, because every job I had has totally been different from the next. The only thing that I can say that has been consistent in that is that my body was there. And in some of the jobs I had, my heart wasn't even in them. This I've always loved customer service, but my heart, especially after my mother passed, it was like I knew I had to come up out of the job that I was in, because I was starting to be the stamp, just moving on to the next. Like my heart really wasn't there. These people didn't do anything to me. They didn't deserve any of. I've never did anybody where I caused, you know, their life to shift into a negative thing. Never. But how I was, I knew how I would come in there and be bubbly and talk with people and inspire people was really short. It was short for me, you know. I didn't like that. That wasn't who Audrey Lane was. Sorry guys, the message is coming up on my phone. Um, it's amazing for us to really truly ask God to remove some things and allow Him to do it and grow. What encounters are you having? Are you inspiring someone, or are you just going off of wanting to be the victim? You got to remove yourself away from people who only wants to talk about the bad, only wants to talk about what's not going right, what's going to the left, what's going like this is happening to me, and it's always someone else's fault. Because we don't want that attitude to go into our spirits. It's a lot of the stuff that we get into, we need to own up and say it's our fault. It's our fault. That's the first stress thing that'll come off of you, when you acknowledge I've had a hand in that. I chose to do that. We all have choices. What are you choosing? Are you going to choose to stay into this bad negative space and keep on going and doing wrong when you know right, can live right, do right, be elevated, go forth, grow, help, encourage, and be a purpose? And y'all notice you were down for the first part. You ain't got to stay down. You can go up and go forth, and you owe nobody nothing. You don't owe people to stay in a bad mindset. You do owe yourself growth. You do owe yourself that you are a nice and wonderfully made person. You are made so perfect. Stop trying to fit an image that's not for you. Fit your own personality. Trust me, I'm starting to learn who Audrey Lane is. What image did I have trying to fit in with other people? Yelling, cussing, screaming so I can go along with the crowd? Mm-mm. You owe nobody nothing. And if you change it and they want to talk, because you're going to get some people who are going to want to talk about it, we have to still love them. I'm going to keep on saying it. We have to still love them. You know why? Because the minute we want to do the nastiness to them, that stuff comes back on us. It's like going to a dump and then wondering why you're leaving the dump with the fumes on you. Stop going around people, places, and things that's going to tear you down, because you're leaving with all of them fumes on you. You're taking them back into your home. You're putting them back into your life. Don't do that. Go around positivity. Ain't nothing like being around positive people and learning a positive you and viewing life in such a greatness that when you come home in a dark home, you're bringing light forth. You ever notice when you're in a dark space, in a dark cloud, and you're in a dark room, you can't see nothing? You can't see nothing. But it's so, and I'm saying this because it's happened. And I've been in a dark room, in dark, when I was in a dark space and couldn't see nothing. I'm in the dark now, and I know God is watching me. Because you want to know what I know? I've learned from my darkness in my past that I learned how to get around my bed and stuff now. I learned how to get around because God light is on me through all of it. And if you can kind of get what I'm saying, you'll get it. I know you will. Stop wanting to be in negative places because you feel so comfortable and you don't want people to say anything that you changing and you leaving them behind. Or it's like, oh, you think I'm better. How about this? It has nothing to do about you thinking you're better than someone else. We have to be better for ourselves, better for God. Because when I tell you the experience that you get, the peace that you get, the joy that you get, it's like no other. It truly is like no other. I'm about to sing it. Strength like no other. Love like no other. Stop beating yourself down. Don't. I am going to, I think, I love that this is my journal. But I do a lot of speaking and encouraging myself. But I'm going to start getting on here and making sure I encourage others. Full blast everything. Today was a day for me, but you wouldn't have known it if I told you I had a doctor's appointment and some stuff was kind of happening. The whole time I'm in the doctor's appointment, I'm like, I'm no victim. I am healed. I am healthy. I am whole. And I had to sit there and be like, God, help me to not judge. Because just people come to the doctors in the hospital to get well. And then it may be some that do not know how to get well. And then there may be some who are not looking to get well. Just everything seems to be happening. And they're not really wanting to get well, but they'll show up to the doctor's appointment for it. That's where our light has to come in. That's where our tongues have to come in to talk with people and care, especially if they find it where they open up their mouths to say something to you. You open up your mouth, let God speak through. You don't need to be no one's victim. And how about this? Don't be your own. You're healthy. You're whole. Even if there's things within your health, because I'm telling you, before I lost all of this weight, and I'm trying to get control more of my weight, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and low cholesterol. I didn't even know you could have them both. Borderline diabetic. My knees were popping out and all kinds of problems. My back, I had like 2 messed up discs. I had a lot. When you weigh 323 pounds, you have a lot on you. Right now, at the moment, I thank God that I am 187 pounds. I was 149, 146, 149. Had to gain back weight for my multiple sclerosis. Anybody ever want to know how to do the journey? I do not mind sharing it. It's not something that's a secret, you know. It's a life-changing thing, that willingness to say, you know what, God, I don't want to live like that no more. A kicker for me was going to an amusement park and not being able to fit the bar over me. And then go from, oh, you know, I'm not at the amusement park for me. I just bring my kids so they can have fun. No, you couldn't fit the daggone stuff over you. I went and had an MRI thing done before and couldn't even go through the machine. They had to reschedule me and send me to this other place that had the machines for the weight that I was. See that right here, this information right here is a resource, encouragement, and help for someone. It's still help for me. Life is not over me. I can't say, oh, I'm not that weight I was, so I can just stop and I can do whatever I want to do. No. It's a lifestyle of making sure I take care of my health. I literally went from a list of health issues to the only thing I have is the multiple sclerosis. Yeah. And I wouldn't even say that because, thank you, Jesus, I have not been having a lot of the problems that come with it. Because we have to take control of our health. You know what? It is so weird for me because my biggest defense was, oh, I didn't wake up fat. You calling me fat. I didn't wake up this way. That was a defense mechanism. That was something to put out there. But really inside, I'm being honest, I was screaming, I don't know how to go about it. And especially when you come from a plus size family. And, well, I wouldn't say everyone is plus size. But it's like you come from, let's put it like this. You come from a family who know how to cook. Put it like that. Know how to cook and cook well. Well, you will gain some weight and keep on gaining, and you don't think anything of it because that's where how food is the first thing that get people to come around and have the encounters. When now I see it as have the encounter and food just so happens to be a part of it. We got to go out there. What kind of encounters are we having? Is it an encounter that will help us in life and help us grow, help us mature, help us, you know, help others? I I am so amazed at like the growth in myself. Who would have known if all you had to do was say, God, come into my heart and truly mean it and be willing to show up, that He will change your life and continuously change your life. I hope that you guys can go out and one, like the song says, and I love that song, encourage yourself. Encourage someone else. Watch the difference in how you start reacting to things. And truly go there with an open listening heart and an open listening ear. Watch the shift. Watch the shift. We have so much of a gift inside of us. We truly do. We have, man, first of all, you better know you're blessed. You better know you are blessed. That you are more than your circumstances. You are more than what you grew up around. You are more than what's in your family life. You know, this happened to your cousin, this happened to our aunt, this happened to you. Are more than that. That does not mean it has to happen for you and in you. You literally do not have to say, oh, well, I'm destined for that because it happened to somebody. I thought at one time that I was like, let me, you know, I will be this way because it just always be where, you know, it just seems like marriages and hurt and like snappy mouths is in my family. People always wanting to be the right. I'm the right one. I'm saying it right. I'm doing it right. You don't have to be like that. You can say, you know what? How about this? I look at it, yeah, and it's so weird. I look at a lot of things as now you can be the shift for your family. You can be it because it starts with us to make sure we are doing God's work in ourselves because God is doing it. But are you working with Him? Are you for Him or are you against Him? Because trust me, people are watching you. And how about this? You have your spectators and you have your participators. And you got to be okay no matter what. I pray for both. I don't just pray for my participators. And let me tell you why. Your spectators, they may not always know what they are doing. Some may, and some may not. But let me tell you how praying for them actually, where you say it, God, you give them your heart's desires. You help them, Lord Jesus. And don't point out what they are doing to you because that doesn't help. Say, God, you help them the way you see fit. You bless them and you listen to them. You change their mindsets in their hearts. God, you give them growth. And then for your participators, you definitely have to make sure you pray for them because you don't want to be where they're always sharpening you and you are never sharpening them. You want to pray that God gives them strength for them to hold up and stay firm in what they're doing, that the devil does not try to knock them down, that the devil doesn't want to come in and cause chaos in their lives because they are out there sharpening souls for Him, for God. So you have to make sure you pray either way. It's a song that I like, years old. I love this song. I play it every day. I'm still going to pray when things are good and when things don't go my way. We have to pray every day, all throughout the day. It doesn't take up your time. You could be watching this video right now and still praying. Do y'all know that I pray in my head even as I speak? I want to make sure that God, you are coming forth and out of me. Because yes, this is a journal, but now it's like, girl, I ain't got time to be playing. You got to go out here and you got to inspire people. You got to go out here and let people know you are here to love them, to encourage them, to speak life into them, to let them know that they are a light, that God chose them, that they are a gift, that they are here to serve a purpose. I truly love you guys. I got so much left in me. Ooh, Lord. Yeah, Jesus Christ. When I tell y'all, go out there and love on someone. How about this? Love that enemy who is making it so hard and difficult for you. Go and love them. Truly love them. Don't open up your mouth and say anything nasty. Don't even think it in your head. When the enemy want to come up and say some stuff, you say no. I ain't having it. No, we not doing this. And you still go out there and you love on them. Tell the enemy he is a liar. He is a liar. He don't want you to go make amends and everything because he don't want you touching their souls. He wants them. He don't want God in their souls, and he know you all got God up in you. You about God. Go love on that enemy. Go let God come out on them. Shine your light. Don't keep it for yourself. What use is a light to be in a one room and no one is allowed in that room? You better go out there and shine. Come on, guys. Come on. We can do it. I know we can. Because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I truly love you guys. I do. I love each and every one. I ain't got time to hate. I ain't got time to be out here playing no games. I got a job to do. You got a job to do. You ain't got no time to be sitting around doing nothing. You better go out here and make them encounters and do them encounters and watch the shift. Watch the shift. And how about this? Don't you want no glory? It don't belong to you. It don't belong to you. It don't belong to us. We're vessels. Let's go out there and impact. I thank you guys for subscribing to Just Be Audrey Lane. Remember, I told you I gotta somehow get this movement going where we all can just be the Just Be and what your name is. Just be who you are. No one else. Y'all see how I get on, I do my journal, and I stumble over words. I am actually reading for the first time on here. I am pushing myself. I can be uncomfortable. I may pronounce a word wrong, or any of that. You guys put it in the chat. Help me. Help me in my reading. You're not offending me. I'm about that growth life. I'm about that growth life. Come on, life. Let's go encourage one another. Remember now, don't let any negative things get in your head because they are distractions. We ain't got time for that. You only have time for growth. You only have time to go move forward in your purpose. And keep in mind that you may have some things that could be where people say it's a setback. Oh, we're going to have failures. We're going to make mistakes. But they're actually a learning tool for our success. Know that. You better know that. Don't let it beat you down where you stop going and doing. It's actually, you go back, you read, and you go over, okay, the mistake was made like this. Okay, now I had to reroute and go this way. That's what God wants to know. He wants to know, are you still going to be consistent in showing up and doing the work? Or are you going to let this one little thing, even if it's a big thing, are you going to let this distract you from what I have for you? That's what God wants to know. Don't you let it. I love you guys. You make sure you come back on. We're going to encourage one another. I thank you. We're going to encourage one another. That's how it goes. That's how we move. That's how we grow. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to encourage one another. So, you guys have a good evening. You know, today is 6/21/2021. I just knew it. I said, God, I always like to say the dates of it. Because when I write down in my book, not only write the dates, I write the time. And I do it for X marks the spot. Where's your spot? Where do you, where can you mark that God did a shift and a change in your life? Where can you say God breathed through you? You had this encounter that you don't even know. You didn't expect it. You just was coming on YouTube to click on something and this came up, and next thing you know something happened, and you just started changing and growing and you can't even explain it. And I'm going to pray God keeps on doing it for you, for us. We growing. Growth is a wonderful thing. It is a wonderful thing. You guys make sure you stay in love. Make sure you encourage one another. Please know that you are secure in the arms of God, that He has you. And I'm reading my book that says that. And it's so funny. Remember, I said get your journals. I was reading something I wrote on the wall. I'm going to share that with you guys because it's upstairs. But basically, of who am I going to touch, that God has me being a vessel and blowing through me to touch and reach people. I didn't even know it would be like this. I wrote it in my head and wrote it out. Well, I thought it in my head and wrote it out. And here it is coming forth. So don't tell me that writing isn't a good thing. One, the power is in the tongue, because for me to write it out, I was speaking. I speak to myself all the time in my head. But we got to not only speak to ourselves in our head and get it out, we got to voice our powers in our tongue. Say it out loud so your ears can hear it and your heart can know it. Remember, they all line up together. It's a big heart. That's who we are. That's how it is. That's the heart. Heart of God. You better know that. Come on now, I love you guys. I love myself. I thank you guys so much for subscribing to Just Be Audrey Lane. It's somewhere down here. Y'all know I always do that. Hit that bell for when a video is posted. Let's get this going. It's all about encouragement, even through the bad days. I will honestly say thank you guys, because me coming on here and even through some rough, tough moments is making me so grateful. So grateful. So it's humbling. This process is for a purpose and it's worth it. Mm. Come on, guys. I love you. I love myself. And I love God more importantly. Y'all know I do. Jesus, I love you. I'm going to do it because my mom always does it. Lift your hands and say Jesus. Man, we got this. We got this. You guys, stay encouraged. Go encourage someone else. Have a great, great day. I will be back on to talk with you guys. I'm going to go and get myself to go to the gym now. I got to get my cycle on. Be encouraged. Bye now.